guys, this is Carrie from Tone Wars. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We're really excited to hang out with you and to have you be part of our community. If you like what you see here, here's a couple ways you can support the channel. We always appreciate super chats very much, but here's a couple other ways you can support the channel and get something in return other than just content. If the super chat feature doesn't work for you, or if you're watching after the live stream, Jarrod's PayPal account link is listed below. Any donation of any amount is greatly appreciated. Since the show is sponsored in part by Motor City Guitar, we've included an affiliate link below. By clicking the link below, everybody wins. You're getting a great deal on some awesome equipment, you're supporting a store that has tons of inventory and great customer service, and you're supporting Tone Wars. And on top of all of that, if you live outside of the state of Michigan, whenever you buy anything from Motor City Guitar, you don't pay any sales tax. And last but certainly not least, you can visit our website at tonewars.com. The link is below. There you will find some awesome KEMPER profile packs with the tone and feel guitar players love. You will also find presets for the very popular HELIX, HX Effects, HX Stomp, and Pod Go. Alright, the show's about to begin. We look forward to hanging out with you, so grab your favorite drink and join us in the live chat.
Welcome to Tone Wars. Hey guys, what's happening? Thanks so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. You know, I went to Motor City today and I'm like, all right, let me see what's new. You know, see what I could do. And they got the new 50 watt version of the Badlander in. And I was like, you know what? I know I already did the 100 watt version, but I wanted to take another stab at this amp because I just feel like last time I didn't have enough time with it. And some time has passed, you know, how you cleanse the palate per se, and you come back and revisit something, you feel or think differently about it, you know. And I was thinking, I wonder if that would happen, you know. And I have my Roadster, my dual rack Roadster all dialed in. We're going to compare them and see kind of what the differences are with the sound and feel on these two monsters. And I honestly, like last time I reviewed it, I liked it. I thought it was good. I thought it needed more gain and stuff, but I mean, it definitely worked for me. I just thought, okay, let me just rephrase that. It had enough gain for me, but I had to turn it up more than I thought I would have to. I'll just put it to you that way. But it still had enough. I just had to be at like 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and it had plenty. So I'll say that. And I liked how it sounded, and I liked how they shaped the tone and made it more refined. So I thought that was really cool. And with the direct out, I thought that was cool with the you know, the cab loader and all that and stuff. So again, I've had some time to kind of distance myself from it and then come back to it. So tonight I'm going to revisit it and play some songs for you, play some riffs, and compare it to the Roadster on channel 3 and just see, you know, let's just see how refined it really is. Last time we did like a gauntlet with it, which was a lot of fun. But tonight we're going to concentrate more on the Roadster, the dual rec Roadster, and see how, you know, these compare. So yeah, I think it would be kind of fun, you know. And like I said, I think this amp deserves a second look. I really do. It's pretty polarized out there. There's people that think, it's just like, some people were like kind of disappointed in it, and then there's a lot of people that loved it. And I guess that is to be said about a lot of products that are out there, but at least with this, I heard a lot of people saying one way or the other on this amplifier on Facebook and other groups, and I just want to kind of clarify it for myself tonight. Like, which way do I lean on this amplifier for real? You know, I'm gonna give some. I'm gonna say hello in a minute here, but I want to give some shout outs to some people tonight. Chad Becker and Christopher Miller. Thank you so much for using the link and shopping at Motor City Guitar, and you both got a Stealth. And congratulations. It's a great amp. I obviously have one and love it, and congrats guys. I really appreciate you shopping at Motor City and supporting an excellent store ran by excellent people and they give great service and prices, and they have a lot of great gear there. So, and for anybody here tonight, that if you're thinking about getting, maybe the Badlander or something else, there is a link in the description. Click on Motor City, and if you buy anything from there and you live anywhere in the continental U.S., you don't pay sales tax if you're outside the state of Michigan, and they'll ship to you. So you get some really good deals on stuff there, and it helps the channel. So I appreciate that very much. It's literally what keeps them going too. So it keeps you playing, it keeps the store open, and it helps us out a little bit as well. So we really appreciate that. So with that, let me say hello, Jason Taylor. What's up, man? Acoustic. Jason says, right on, just picked up an EVH 50 watt Stealth yesterday and loving what I'm hearing and feeling so far. Dude, good for you, man. Congratulations. Every time I plug into my Stealth, I'm happy with it. It's never something where I'm dissatisfied at all. That is one amazing freaking amplifier, and you deserve it. So congratulations, man. Gunnerman 54, what's happening? Return Dakota, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you here tonight. ATU 8080, love my Badlander 100. Yeah, I don't blame you. When I plugged into this tonight, I was like, that's pretty freaking good, man. So I was enjoying playing through it. I sounded like Yoda there, didn't I? Yeah, it's pretty. Or Raymond. What about Raymond or whatever? Yeah, it's pretty good amp. Yeah, I really like it. It's good. Daryl McMillan, what's happening? Acoustic. Scott Fulmar, what's happening? What's going on, guys? Oh, he says, howdy, metal kids. So, let me, having the Jeffersons, reserve tonight. What a way to top off a day, huh? Alright, so, let me do a few riffs on this guy and see where we're at. I'm on, crush mode right now, okay? Yeah, let me check the board. Yeah, I'm on the amp. So, 1 second. That was fun, man. That was fun to play. I felt really confident playing it. It was good. It's good. I'm kind of readjusting my thought process with this amplifier. Again, I wish it had a little more headroom on the gain, but I almost feel like it's an arbitrary statement in some ways, because it's like, where it's set, it's enough. It's set higher than I would expect to set it, but it's still enough. Let me switch to, so again, I'm on Crush right now. So I'm going to switch to Crunch, okay? And let's hear what that sounds like real quick. Well, I need to tune for one thing. But yeah, that's a good rhythm channel. That is a really good rhythm channel. It's clean. It's got plenty of gain for like tight, chunky riffs, but you don't get that spillover that I was getting on the Crush channel with the same gain setting. It's got a nice, tight, thick, chunky feel, and I think it's about as good of a rhythm channel as you could get. Sounded really good. What I played that first mix on with was the Crush channel, or Crush mode, or whatever you want to call it, because I'm doing rhythms and leads. So if I was to own this amp and have it set up perfectly for me, I would obviously have channel 1 in Crunch mode and channel 2 in Crush mode, one for rhythm, one for leads, and I'd switch between them accordingly, and that would work perfectly for me. So yeah, I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Are there amps out there with more gain? Yes. Does everybody need more gain? No, I'm a gainiac, so keep that in mind. I'm a total freaking gainiac. I love gain. I love to ride the lightning with the gain, and it's fun to wield it, so keep all that in mind. If you're somebody who requires a moderate to even a lot of gain, this will do it for you. It will. And there's definitely a refinement there. And in a few here with my wiretap pedal, for you that aren't familiar with it, it's a pedal it's like a reamp pedal. You program your raw guitar tone and riffs into it, and it records that, and it plays automatically. It'll loop. So I can hit that, and it'll play the same thing over and over again through both of these amps, and I'll switch between them with my KHE switcher, so you can hear how they differ from each other. So we'll do that in a few. I'll do a few more mixes for you as well. Let's see, we got 21. Oh, we had 19, 21, 19. It keeps bouncing around here. Mule Blues, what's happening? Frailty Lives, what's going on, buddy? Jefferson's. That's right, man. I'm moving on up with my whiskey. Oh, that is my new favorite ridiculous whiskey. Jason Taylor, I would have went with Motor City, but I have a local connection who gave me a deal on the EVH that made it a no-brainer. I've been a Mesa guy for some time, so looking forward to giving this a shot. No, good for you, dude. No worries at all. The thing is that's really nice about that store is, they're not all about buy from us. They want you to be happy. So I'm sure that they're very happy for you that you found an amp that worked for you, and they're glad that you're watching the show. So Marty's a great guy. He's laid back. His main concern is that people get what they need, and that they're happy with their purchase. So yeah, that's awesome, man. And again, congrats on that amp. You're gonna love it. Oh, so you liking how it sounds? Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. I appreciate the kind words too, Acoustic, very much. How was that with bedroom volume? The 50 watts, Gunnerman asks. It's good. Like, I had it down here at first and I was playing it, but it does have a 25 watt switch on it. Is it 25 or 20? My glasses, I think it's 20. I apologize, I can't see very well, but I think it says 20. And you can always go down to 20 watts if you want, and it'll work fine. But even at lower volumes, this amp's great. The thing is that I've learned, especially these last decade of amplifiers, it seems like they all sound really good at lower volumes, because back in the day they were geared differently. Like back when the Beatles were playing, you would have amps on stage, but they didn't mic cabs back then and run them through the PA. The only thing that went through the PA was the vocals. So they had to have these amps that were big enough to fill huge auditoriums and keep up with the drum kit and all that. So that's why everything back then was so loud, and it was geared to sound good loud. And so when you do that, it only sounds good when it's loud. When you play it low, it's kind of like, man, this thing's lackluster, you know? So that's why back in those days, too, when they recorded in the studios, they had amp rooms that were sealed off. I mean, you walked in there and they'd mic the amp up and just blow that thing to pieces, you know? So nowadays, everything's mic'd, so we don't gear amps like that anymore. We gear them to sound good at every volume, so you don't have to worry about cranking it to sound good. Now, there are exceptions to that. There's some amplifiers out there that are very master volume driven still, but they still sound better at lower volumes than they did in the past. So, but yeah, so that's the scenic route to your answer. But yeah, it does sound good at lower volumes, no problem. Yeah, it sounds very tight. Return Dakota says, yeah, seriously, like the crunch channel, it sounds like the epitome of what a rhythm channel should sound like. It sounds really good. You know, Juan, what's happening, man? Good to see you here. Thank you. He says, have mine on order from Sweetwater. No idea when I'll get it, but I'm stoked. Good for you, man. Congratulations. You're going to like it, man. You really are. Crush mode or Depeche mode? I might have said Depeche mode, so it's in Depeche mode right now. Don't you want me? Yeah, so let me see here. Have a little shot of courage. And let's see here. Yeah, I'm not on Facebook anymore, so the numbers might be a little low tonight because I'm not sharing it on my page, but that's okay. I'm trying to slim down the social media and get back to reality and focus on more fun things. Let me see how this mix sounds. Some of these you've already heard before 1,000 times, but I just want to do it for the sake of hearing how this sounds in these mixes. Okay, 1 second. Switch to crunch mode, and then we'll do a mix with that. Okay, 1 second. Come on, there we go. Very cool. Yeah, that was like, yeah, it was fun to play, man. The thing I'm noticing is the really thick notes. Now, let me say this too. Last time I went live with this, I was running through my Mesa 212 cab with vintage 30s in it. Okay, this time I'm running through my diesel 212 cab with what are they? Whatever they are. G12 K100s. G12 K100s. So many acronyms I got to remember on this show. And man, I'll even say, like, if you caught the show on Sunday, I played through my JP. It just sounded better. It was like, I think these speakers were just meant for, at least, well, at the time I was like, I think they're meant for JP amps, you know, the JP amp. But I really think that if you're going to get the Badlander, or if you already have one, consider the G12 K100s. I'm telling you, these speakers really make a huge difference, and they have this nice kind of even sweep on the EQ as far as what my ears are hearing. I mean, I'm sure there's some stuff that they're focused on a little bit more here and there, but they feel like they have this really nice EQ sweep on them. They're full, but there's this grainy texture. It's like this really nice, like, breakup, this really nice, like, gritty, awesome kind of sound that I'm getting out of these, and it's very even keeled but aggressive at the same time. And I honestly think that that could be part of why I'm liking this amp a little better this time than I did last time, is because those speakers are freaking killer. So if you have one of these amps, or any amp, and you want to consider, like, if you're looking for new speakers, I'm telling you guys, like, that was a great find when I bought that diesel cab and got the G12 K100s in it. I just think these speakers they're definitely my new favorites. And it's not even a honeymoon phase thing. I mean, every time I play an amp through these, I love these speakers. Now, there are exceptions. I prefer my Ingle through the vintage 30s. It sounds good through the G12s, but I prefer the vintage 30s on the Ingle. You know, the EVH Stealth, I could probably go either way. I'll have to do more testing with it, but so far I'm really digging these speakers. So I have to give props where they're due, you know. So I always try to be honest and, you know, tell you guys, like, all the yeah buts, you know. So yeah, I like it more this time, and I still think it's a great amp, but I think I'm liking it more because of these speakers too. I'm sure that makes a difference. Let's see here. Mule Blues, Tone Wars, moving away from vintage 30s. Good question. I mean, I still think they're awesome, and the cab's right back there. It's behind the curtain there, and I'll be bringing it back from time to time when I do profiles, when I do live streams, all that. I still think it's a great sounding cab. But you know, I just got this diesel, so I'm gonna break it in for a while, and I will definitely bring the vintage 30, the Mesa cab back. You'll see it back in the show from time to time. I'll be alternating things. Same thing with the Zilla. I'll be alternating with that too. So yeah, Gunnerman says, yeah, it sounds better this time. It does. Like, it really freaking does. And I honestly think it could be the speakers. I don't know, but I really think that it does. James Miller, depends on the type of music you're playing. Yeah, that could be true. Yep, that could be true. CS, just got my Ibanez J-Craft 7-string today. Nice! Now I gotta figure out a good bridge pickup. D-Sonic in it now. Don't like it. Any recommendations, anyone? Well, congrats on the guitar. That's awesome, man. I'm happy for you. I love these pickups. So I forget what they're called, but if you look up the specs on the JP Majesty Monarchy series guitar, it'll tell you what pickups are in there and get the bridge pickup. Every single person that's come over my house and played through these guitars, even when they bring their own, they love these pickups. Everybody's like, oh my god, those pickups are amazing. So I would recommend these. Just a thought, you know. There's my 2 cents, and hopefully it'll work for you. 6-string Brian, what's happening, man? Are you looking into getting the Nero Quad core modeler? Yeah. Good question. Yes, I am. A good friend of mine on the show here, Todd, from Chicago Todd, said he's going to bring his up as soon as it comes out, and we'll be doing a live stream with that. I'll actually do some captures of amps while I'm live. Is what the plan is anyways, and we'll see how well it does. And I'll shoot it out with the KEMPER and I'll capture the same amp with the quad and the KEMPER with the same mic, same cab, and everything, and see which one captures it better. And we'll do that for sure. That we'll probably do on a pre-recorded segment because it's a lot of work to capture live and stuff. So we'll probably do that, but we'll at least show you the difference, you know, if there is one. So yeah, for sure. Let's see here. Oh, CS, I think they're Dreamcatchers. Yeah, you could be right. Dreamcatcher and Rainmaker or something like that. Yeah, this pickup right here is like it's my absolute favorite pickup. Love it very much. Frailty Lives, liking that Badlander. Yeah, it's good, man. It's a freaking kick-ass amp. I'm liking it too. Let's see here. Let's do another fun one with it. I've been practicing this one here and there. Let's see how this sounds. that was nice too. Yeah. Oops. I feel really, really supported with this amp. I don't know, man. Maybe it's the cab, maybe it's the speakers, maybe it's the fact that I've cleansed the palette and came back to it and had a different appreciation for it. But this amp's totally working for me tonight, you know. So here's the thing. Let's go over some of the stuff that I heard on some of the channels, some of the comments, and when I used to be on Facebook and stuff like that. So basically, some of the people were just like, oh, you know, I was expecting more, and it was just kind of a very general statement. And I was like, well, more what? I don't know. I just expected more. Some people were like, oh, it's awesome. They finally refined it and got rid of all the fizz that was in a lot of the rectifiers. And I agree. That is, and I'll show you that in a minute. Fizz is okay, though, because it helps you in a mix. But I think that they dialed this in tonally very well. And they refined it very well. A lot of the sweep on all of the, you know, the bass, mid, and treble is very usable now. More usable than it used to be. Like, it used to be, like, the bass, you'd have to just turn it up. If you get it past 11 o'clock, it's like, oh my god, it's so boomy. And then other people were like, not enough gain. Some people were like, it has plenty of gain. It was just a lot of polarizing kind of thing. Some people were like, why didn't they put MIDI on it? I mean, that's kind of weird. And I have to agree, I'm one of those people who are like, yeah, why didn't they put MIDI on it? But they did put the cab clone the deal on it, so you go direct out on it, which is cool. So it's kind of like, maybe it was a price thing, maybe it was a cost effective thing. They're trying to stay within a certain price point. I mean, who knows? But what I will say is, I'm digging it right now. So here's what I would advise you, if my advice matters, anyways. For what it's worth, if MIDI is a huge thing for you, then get an amp with MIDI on it. I totally understand that, because when I play out live, I like to have, like I use my HELIX here, I switch channels and stuff like that, and it's a very handy thing. I'm sure with an amp control out on your HELIX, you could probably control this as well. So I haven't tried it, but I'm sure that's possible. You know, so if MIDI's a big deal and you just have to have MIDI, then yeah, I mean, you probably want to get a different amp. But if you love the Recto sound and you think it's amazing, but you always wanted it to be a little more refined, and you've been waiting for Mesa to do that, there you go. I mean, they did it. It's great. Is it the gnarliest amp they've ever made? I don't know. The Mark series is pretty freaking gnarly. So, but I would say this is closer to a Mark now than the Mesa, the dual rec Roadsters used to be. That's for sure. It's almost like an in-betweener. It's like a stepping stone between the dual rec and the Mark. It almost has like similarities of both amplifiers in it now, and yeah, it's like a crossover amp. And I think I'm digging it tonight. Again, who knows? It could be this freaking cab too. And again, like, I still liked it last time. I just like it more this time, and it might be the cab, or who knows? But I think it sounds really good. It's doing great tonight. Oh, Jason, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. He says, sounds great tonight. There seems to be a bit more aggression in the tone than I remember from last time, but that may be just my memory failing me. No, and again, thank you, but you're right, dude. It's more aggressive to me, too. And I'm using the same overdrive, the precision drive. I'm using a different cab. I'm telling you, this cab, at least it might be the speakers or the cab or the whole thing. I don't know, but man, these speakers are killing it tonight. They're freaking amazing. Marty V, what's happening? Marty 5, great to see you, man. It's a nice piece of music there. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Great to see you, man. I missed seeing you the last few shows. Thanks so much for being here, man. Acoustic, I'm really liking this amp. I am too. Like, it's great. Jason Taylor says, very articulate with the notes tonight. Each one has its own space with mushing together during some fast passages. Yeah, thank you. I noticed that too. I mean, there's some good articulation here with just enough stuff, you know? You know, the thing is I think with some amps, we get used to having all this headroom, and it's almost like a security blanket for us. And we want, if I want more gain, it's there, and we but we use it, and then we always dial it back to where, like, well, but this is probably better. But it's just nice to know that you have it if you need it. And maybe with this amplifier, they just have you in this spot with everything where it's like, look, you're going to dial it back to this anyways. You just are. So we're just going to put it there. You know, I mean, do I have more headroom? Yeah, I can turn the gain up. I'm at just over 3 o'clock. I can put more on there if I want, but I don't need it. So does it have enough? Yeah. And I'm digging it. So I really am. Super Gigawatt, what's happening, man? He says, hey, Tone Wars, great to see you and everyone here again. Great to see you too, buddy. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it very much. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up to you guys here. I see a diesel logo as well. Oh yeah, it's been a minute, hasn't it, Marty? Yep, I got a diesel 212 with the G12 K100s, and I got a diesel amp since we've last hung out. Yeah, it's been fun. I would fire up the diesel tonight for you, but I'm actually using the connections from that to with the Mesa tonight, so I can run that. So yep. So Jason says, I missed what cab you're using tonight, Zilla or diesel? Yep, using the Zilla. Or, I'm sorry, the diesel tonight. The diesel with the K... Gosh, I keep forgetting the name of the speakers. G12 K100s. I sound like a noob when I can't say what speakers I'm using. Yeah, so that's what I'm using. Okay, so let's do another mix and see if I can play this one right. There we go. Yes, that last harmonic. It's the bane of my existence. If I don't hit it just right, it just dies. Oh well. Oh man, let me catch up to you guys here. Uh, let's see. Marty asks, "Will you gauntlet this amp to other Mesas with this speaker cab?" Yes, I will. Absolutely. I have I got my Roadster fired up right now, so we'll definitely switch back and forth between those two for sure. I'll be happy to do that for you. We'll do that in the next segment here. Great question. Um, Mule Blue is cool. I'm gonna mix a G12K with a Vintage 30. Dude, I'm telling you, I think I'd be a great mix of speakers. I really do. Like, I am absolutely loving what these speakers are doing right now, especially for the Mesa amps. I'm surprised Mesa hasn't made G12s in their cabs like standard. It's, excuse me, it's weird. It's like they were made for Mesas. Again, they sound great on other amps too, but so far, every one of my Mesa amps through a G12 sounds better. They sound like a whole new amp to me. I'm like, oh my god, what is this fullness and this like amazing stuff going on here? They sound freaking killer. So I would highly recommend it. Oh, thanks, Scott. Appreciate the super chat and the kind words. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. He says, thank you again as always. Always time well spent. Thank you. It's always good to have you here. You know, it really is. So I appreciate that very much. Super Gigawatt says, wow, I was only gone for a little while, and Tone Wars has a diesel now. That's one awesome collection of killer tones. Thank you very much. Yeah, I missed you, dude. I'm glad you're back. Yeah, I did some live streams with this, and I think I don't know if I've done like a recorded version with this, but I will. That amp is like very interesting. It took me a bit to get to know it, but I'm still kind of courting this amplifier per se, and it's cool. It's a cool amp. I'm really digging it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It still has that new amp smell when I play it, so I'm kind of getting that out of this right now too. It's got that new amp smell coming out, and I'm like, yeah, bring that ozone over here. Taylor Reed, love the show. A place for all of us gear freaks to geek out. Thanks, man. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it very much. Let's see. Is it Grizost 25? How would you compare this to the Rev Generator? That's a good question. So the only Rev generator I've played is the Mark II, I believe. It's a friend of mine, Jason, who owns it, Jay Clark, and oh man, that amp was awesome. I would say that, okay, so let me just say this, without having them side by side, I can't give you like a super definitive thing, so I'm going by memory with that, but the thing that Rev prides themselves on is refinement. You know, all of the stuff on a Rev is usable, like all of the bass, all of the mids, all the treble and the presence and the depth and all that and the gain, it's all usable. So they don't give you all this extra crap that you gotta like dial out. There's like, it's all safe. It's kind of like mix ready, you know, with a little extra on the side, you know what I mean, just in case. And I think that in the spirit of that is where this amp is at. Now, it's obviously a different amp made by a different company, but I think the general spirit of doing that is the same with the Badlander. It's just Mesa's version of that. So if that helps you, I think they're both trying to achieve the same thing, but with their own flavor. Mix ready, refined, usable tone structures, enough gain, but not too much of anything. Everything's got this really, I wouldn't say limited amount, because it's not limited. There's plenty there, but it's a very like appropriate amount of everything. I'll put it to you that way. So yeah, I think there's a lot of thought that was put into it, just like with the Rev. So I think that they're both great amps. So it just depends on what flavor of that spirit of an amplifier you would like, you know. Let's see, Super Gigawatt. That sounded killer as always, dude. I'm getting a G12 now. Thanks, man. Yeah, good for you. Yeah, you got to get a G12. I mean, everybody, if I was Oprah Winfrey, I'd be like, and you get a G12, and you get a G12, and look under your seat. Everybody goes out of here with a G12. I would Oprah the hell out of you guys with G12s tonight. And you get a Badlander. No, it'd be awesome. You guys would love them. They're great freaking speakers, man. Super Gigawatt, is that the Herbert? Yes, that is the Herbie, and it's the Mark III. And again, I'd love to fire it up for you tonight, but all the cables that are hooked, that usually run from that to my KHE switcher are on the Mesa tonight. That's the spot where I have the extra footage on the cables that can, reach guest amplifiers. So that's why that's not hooked up. The G12 is magic, Acoustic says. No, you're right, dude. It's a great speaker. And again, I wish I was Oprah Winfrey. You guys all be going home with G12s tonight. But I'm not, so sorry. I don't have any other mixes with this guitar. I'll play a couple of riffs, and then I'm going to turn it over to the wiretap pedal, and then I'm going to switch between the dual rec Roadster and the Badlander and show you the difference. We'll do some concentrating on that tonight too. One more second here. Sounding freaking good. All right, so I'm gonna put. I'll compare them. I'm gonna be on crush mode on the Badlander, and then channel 3 on the Roadster, and then I'll do another riff and compare them in crunch mode on the Badlander. Okay, so we'll start out on crush mode, and we're gonna start out on the Badlander. Okay, that's where we're at right now. So I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, it's probably too far away. I don't have anything to let you know when I switch, but you'll know. You'll hear the difference, So I'm going to play a riff through this pedal here, and then I'll switch between them. Let me just dial in this pedal real quick, okay? Yeah, pretty big difference. You know what's funny is I'm actually hearing a touch more aggression out of the Badlander tonight. It's so weird. Like last time I played this, I was like, yeah, I wish it was a little more aggressive. But now I'm kind of thinking, yeah, it's pretty freaking aggressive. I think it sounded good. You can hear the refinement, right? You can hear a little more clarity between the two. And I have this on crush mode. So it's the most gainiest, most ridiculous mode on this amp, and it still has more clarity than the Roadster. Now, does that mean I hate my Roadster? No, I freaking love my Roadster. I'll always love that amp. It's one of my, it's like one of my old girlfriends. You know what I mean? It's like it's an amp I cut a lot of my teeth on back in the day. So love that amp. But I'm hearing some refinement here. That's really interesting. I hope that's coming through over the YouTubes with the compression and stuff out there. But so let me switch this to crush or crunch mode. I was in crush mode. Now I'm going to be in crunch mode, and I'll play the same riff, and we'll see. We'll start with the Badlander again. Here we go. Well, there we have it. Yeah, that I'm telling you, man. Like they definitely did a good job on this. I'm again, I think it's the speakers too, but I'm so glad I revisited this amplifier. And again, to the Rev question earlier, I think the Rev's amazing. That new Mark III sounds freaking killer. So I'm sure whoever buys one of those is going to be super happy with that as well. I mean, it's really cool. I've heard a lot of reviews. I will be getting one on the show someday soon. I keep reaching out to them, and their amps are all over the states and all over the world right now, getting reviewed by bigger channels. So as soon as one comes available to me, believe me, I will have it on the channel for sure, and I'm looking forward to that. Sounds really crisp, Marty says. Yeah, it is. It's just got a nice, like, aggressive fullness to it. I like it. Oprah would discover new womanhood when one of these was under her chair. That's funny. That would be funny, man. Where's Carrie making pie? Nope, she's doing the family thing tonight. She's usually off. I usually fly solo on Wednesdays, and then she joins me on Sundays. So yeah, she's taking care of business tonight. But appreciate you asking for her. Yep. I wish she was making pie. That kind of sounds good right now. Oh man. Let's see here. And the award goes to the Badlander, Super Gigawatt says. Yeah, it's definitely shining tonight, isn't it, guys? It's sounding pretty freaking good. Acoustic, nah, I don't love any of my old girlfriends. Yeah, I hear you. There's some of mine that are kind of like, yeah. Nope. Marty5 says they both have a totally different place in the mix. Yeah, you're right. You know what'd be cool is I have a series coming up, and as soon as I get some time, I'm going to do this, where I take two amplifiers that sound opposite of each other, but put them in a mix together. Like one on one side and one on the other, panned hard left and right. and to see like if they together in a mix, if they sounded amazing. My guess is, yeah, they're going to sound amazing. So like these two in a mix would sound killer together. I really think they would. Super Gigawatt, does the Roadster or Badlander have more low end in the room? Oh, the Roadster has definitely got more low end. The Badlander's low end it's good. It's an appropriate amount. The Roadster, the low end coming out of that thing, it's definitely more than what a mix would need. But for in the room, I love a lot of low end because I like to feel the palm mutes and the chugs and all that. I like to feel like I know it sounds weird, but I like to feel powerful when I hit power chords and stuff. I want to feel that rumble, and feel like I'm actually doing something as opposed to plink plink, So I love that, but in a mix, like in the studio, a lot of that gets rolled off. But the thing is like what matters the most is what we like when we're playing the amp in the room or on stage, because that's when we're playing it most. The whole mix thing, anything can get fixed in a mix. So I don't really concentrate too much on that because I play my amp way more in the room or, just at practice or on stage than I would in a studio. So the studios, yeah, it matters. But again, you can fix anything in a studio. So what matters most to me is what my amp sounds and feels like when I play it most. And that is in a live or practice setting. So it really does matter more to me for that. So what I can do is I'll tell you where the settings are. So I have the bass on the Badlander at just over noon. It's probably like almost 1 o'clock. But on the Roadster, it is at like 10 o'clock. So 10 o'clock is the bass on the Roadster and almost 1 o'clock on the Badlander, if that tells you anything. If I go any higher on the Roadster, it's too much. It's like, oh my God, it gets too muddy. But I mean, again, it just goes to show you, like, I think they weren't going after headroom this time with these amps. They were going after more of like, well, what do they really need? You know what I mean? Like, how much trunk space do you really need? And let's just give you that, as opposed to, wow, you can fit, a whole basketball team in my trunk. Well, do you ever do that? No? Well, then what? Why? Why don't we have more foot room in the car? You know what I mean? So that we can drive more comfortably and just have enough trunk space to maybe fit a couple golf bags and maybe some groceries or something. Yeah, okay, that sounds right. You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of where they're coming from. Like, well, what do you really need though? Let's give you that and maybe a little more just in case, but I think this'll work for you. And truth be told, some of the reviews I've seen with this amplifier on YouTube sounded terrible. Now, it's not because of the amp, it's because of whoever set it up and mic'd it, or whatever. They just I don't know if they knew how to do it right, and I'm not trying to shame anybody or say I'm better than them, but I just feel like some of the reviews were like just awful sounding, and some of them were so bad it was almost libel. Like, I almost was worried that Mesa was going to call them and go, hey, take that down, man, you're making us look bad, our amp doesn't sound like that. So I always try to represent people's products properly, no matter what, because I'm a business owner. I would hate for somebody to misrepresent me and what I do by not miking it properly, you know what I mean, and not presenting it properly. Like, that's a huge thing. I mean, YouTube can make or break companies or products that are coming out, and it's really sad if they come out and they don't sound good, So, my opinion, this is, if you're going to get one of these, and you're open-minded with cabs and speakers and stuff, get the G12s. And what you're hearing tonight is the Royer R10 and the Shure SM57 combined. That's what you're hearing. So I got a ribbon and a dynamic combined, and it just sounds killer. I got nothing bad to say about what I'm experiencing tonight. And I will say, I'm really liking this amp more than I did last time when I had it on. And some people have reached out to me and said, like, well, I bought this amp instead because, I feel like I made the right decision on, and you know what? They probably did make the right decision, because if they're happy with their purchase, it's fine, especially with some of the amps that they were reaching out to me and talking to me about, because I know one in particular. I keep all this stuff on the downloads, just so you know. Like, I know the amp that this guy bought is definitely going to be something he's happy with, because I've seen nothing but good reviews about it, and the tones that I've seen on it are great. So I'm sure he made a great choice. But there's people right now watching, and people that are going to be watching in the future, that are going to hear this and go, that thing sounds awesome. And I'm here to tell you, like, it is. It's sounding great tonight. I'm very happy with everything I'm experiencing tonight in the room. I really am, you know. Let's see here. What's up, Joe? How you doing, man? Good to see you here. Thanks for joining us. Tyler Reed, the Roadster sounds more scooped. Let's see, where are my mids? My mids on the Roadster are at 11 o'clock. My mids here are about the same, you know, on the Badlander. So it's just a completely different pot. You know this. I'm just saying it just for the sake of everyone. So they all have different pots, different sweeps, different frequency numbers and everything. So yeah, it might be a little more scooped. I'm not really super sure, but yeah, they both sound great. It's just a matter of, like, you know, if I had more time tonight, I would try to make them sound exactly alike. I don't think I could, though. I really don't. I feel like the Roadster has more, like, for lack of a better term, fizz in it. And this is way more refined, you know, the Badlander is. So I don't know if I can, you can't really dial fizz out, you know what I mean? It is what it is. You can only pull down so much at the top end before it just becomes too dark, you know. So, but again, I think both amps are amazing. They both sound great, and I would love to hear what they sound like in a mix together. It'd probably sound amazing. But yeah, I'm definitely more impressed with the Badlander than I was last time, and I'm very glad that I actually reviewed it again, because I think it needed a second look. I really do. Let's see here. Just trying to catch up to you guys here. Oh, Paul says, I agree. Some of the reviews are really poor. Oh, you're right, dude. I felt bad for Mesa, and I was like, oh my god, that sounds like crap. You know, Ola's sounded good, and I don't want to name names for other people, but, you know, but some of them were just hideous, you know, so it really depends on how it's mic'd and all that, so it really, and set up, so it really does. Marty says, just goes to show how much a difference the speaker makes with any amp. No, you're right. And I honestly, like, I want to do an episode about that too, where it's like, are you really playing the right speakers or the right cab with your amp? You might not be, you know, because, like, when I was playing my JP the other night, and I played it for the first time through my diesel cab, I was like, I don't know what's going on here, but I've never loved this amp more than I do right now. I've never enjoyed playing it more than I do right now. And it's because of the G12s. It sounded absolutely perfect. It didn't even sound like the same amp. Not that I had a problem with it before, but it sounded like it got a makeover or whatever. It was like a better version of itself. So, again, if you're not happy with your amp, maybe it's not your amp. Maybe it's your cab or your speakers. You know, Paul, how British can it sound? Do the EL34s give you a passable Marshall mid-gain flavor if dialed in? You know what? Let's find out. That's a good question. So let me go to... All right, so I'm already on Crunch, which is the lower of the two gain channels. So let me go ahead and bring the gain down and see what we got, okay? Okay, I just turned the overdrive off. Yeah, I think it might be a little thicker than a Marshall. Again, without having one here, I don't know. You know what I mean? But from memory, it sounds a little thicker, especially with the overdrive off. It just depends on the style of music that you play, whether you use an overdrive or not, or what kind or what settings you use on it if you use one. Um, but yeah, like a JVM Marshall I had on the show several months ago. That was like a gain monster. That thing was actually pretty cool. But yeah, I think it could do it. You know, with the ELs in it, I think it could totally do that for you. You know, it's a pretty versatile amp. The clean channel is ridiculous. Clean channel is really good, so I think you would like that as well. Steve Venchek, what's happening, man? Let's see here. Just got here. I was at practice. Are you using the diesel? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Good to see you, man. Let's see here. Someone was asking me something, and I want to make sure I didn't miss. Favorite EQ pedal, Super Gigawatt. Actually, that's a good question. I don't have any EQ pedals. So I wish I could give you a definitive answer, but I don't have any, so I really wouldn't know. I know that, is it the MXR? That one's pretty popular, but I definitely don't want to recommend something if I've never, used it. So hopefully some of these guys here that have more experience with them than myself could give you some good direction there. Let's see here. Acoustic says it used to be the pickup different. Now it's the speaker difference. Yeah, it's crazy. Like the speakers really do make a big difference. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. How more even keeled a lot of my amps. Because like it made the JP less focused and bigger sounding. If you could believe that, it just gave it this really nice, more spread out sound as opposed to more focused. That depends on your taste, but I like it more spread out sounding. I just do, Oh, you're welcome, Paul. It's my pleasure, man. That's what this show's about. Like when I go live, that's one of the biggest reasons why I go live. It's so that when you can literally ask me something while I'm live, and I'll do it for you. If I'm able, I'll absolutely dial something in for somebody, because that's the beauty of having a live stream, as opposed to later, like you can ask me in a comment, and I'm perfectly fine with responding to comments, but I can't really give you an example. I could just say, well, I think it would do this, or I tried it and it did that, but now I can actually show you. So like I love doing that for you guys. So that's what this is about. Marty says, so next week we can have a room full of cabs. I'll tell you, that would be nice. Yeah, I got maybe one more cab on the list that I want to get. It's the Omega, but we'll have to see, because man, I'm about tapped out on spending for a while. Steve Venchek says, I got a G12 K100 just to try. Used about different amps, sound incredible. I cannot believe it immediately ordered the diesel cab. Yeah, it really does work. It's a great speaker. It really is. He said, but I have to wait because Jarrod bought the last one. Guilty. Jason Taylor, probably the speakers are keeping it from getting a not Marshall tone too, and maybe your pickups. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it could be, because like it could be. It all depends on what you're playing them through. I mean, again, like I really can't even recognize some of my amps when I change cabs. I'm like, is this that amp? Like, wow, it is, and it's like shocking to me how different the amps sound, through different cabs. It really is. Paul says, the JVM demo was great, thank you. I love the modern Marshall sound, but nothing beats Mesa quality for the US dollar. Oh, you're welcome, and thank you, man. And you're right. I mean, the thing that's nice about Mesa is they still remained a boutique amp company. After all these years, they're still old-fashioned, and I mean that in a good way, like old-school boutique amp company. You know, I mean, they're just a great, great company. That's why I have three of them. I have the Roadster, I have the JP, and I have over there I got the Mark 525. It's off camera right now, but I just think their amps are freaking killer, you know. And again, they're a boutique amp company. They still are. They never went mainstream and said, "Oh, let's just have all our stuff made in, you know, foreign countries." Some countries are better than others, but you know what I'm saying. Like, you know, have them made in, you know, like cheap. I'll just say that they didn't go mainstream and say let's mass produce our stuff in cheap factories that make stuff pennies on the dollar, and you know we'll put cheap parts in them and this and that. Their stuff is amazing, and you always get a tag from them. Okay, when you buy anything with all the signatures on it. You know, everybody signs off on this amp before it leaves the factory. You know, I mean, you got assembly, inspection, mechanical, wiring, technician, final assembly, play test, and packaging. And they all sign it right here. Who else does that? You know? And Randall Smith is one of the most old school, like, get it done the right way, don't cut any corners kind of people out there. And you got to give the company like that props. They make great stuff, you know. And I know Gibson has acquired them, but I saw a really cool interview with them the other day. And Randall Smith was in that interview, and he said, rest assured, I'm still designing the amps. Nothing's going to change here. The good thing about this is that we're going to be distributed in countries that we were never sent to before because of Gibson's distribution deals. So it's a good thing. So all you guys in different countries that are watching this right now, keep your eyes peeled, because you're going to see Mesa amps in your countries that you've never seen before because of Gibson buying them. So that's actually a good thing. And I can't wait to see that happen for everyone. That's cool. Marty 5. So KSR thought the diesel cab through the diesel cab to your liking. You know what? It's a good question. I'll have to I haven't tried that yet. I'll have to give that a shot. I'll absolutely do that and let you know for sure, man. Good question. Juan says, thanks again for the live stream. I have a question about the JP2C. Do you run channel 2 with presence pulled or pushed? You're welcome, and thanks for being here. I will check. You know what? Let me fire this bad boy up. Channel 2, the presence is pushed in. It's not pulled out. I don't like a lot of brightness, but it's at... On this cab, I have it at 1 o'clock, which is kind of rare. But with this cab being more even keeled, I found that 1 o'clock's pretty good on it. I don't have it pulled out on either of the channels, channel 2 or 3. It's pushed in. So let me, what is that, number 3? Give me a second here. And I'm just letting it warm up for a second. And I'll let me answer a couple more comments here, and then I'll fire up the JP for you guys. Outlaw Josie Wales. That's one of my favorite movies, man. That's a good name. What's up, man? He said, Jarrod, guys, what is the best metal Mesa amp? Oh, boy. That is a good question. I think it really depends on what you want. If you're going after a very feature-rich amp that sounds absolutely fantastic, it has enough channels to go live with, you know, on stage and whatnot, and it's MIDI capable, got a direct out, it just sounds killer. I would say the JP Mark II C Plus. The Mark II C Plus is amazing. A Mark V is, I mean, it really depends on your taste. But man, that JP is a thunderous, ridiculous amplifier. Let me fire it up. I got it warmed up here. Let me switch it to it. 1 second. Dude, that thing is working that cab. That cab is just, it feels like it's going to explode. The nice thing about the JPs, they got tons of low end, but it's like a clean low end. It's a very clean and precise and resonant kind of low end. It's not muddy. It's just got this really nice like earthquake behind all the notes. It's just really nice kind of fullness, and it's very appropriate, you know. When you're doing palm mutes on the JP, you know you're doing freaking palm mute. You're dropping bombs, you know. It just sounds incredible. Let me play a riff, all right? And I will switch through all three of these for you so you can hear them. I might have to volume match the JP, though, because it might not be volume matched to where these guys are. So give me a second to do that. And then I will play the riff through the pedal on all three of these. And I'll point to which one I'm playing through, and you can hear them, okay? Hear how they compare. 1 second. Okay, I have my volume on my guitar up a little bit. Sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, that thing just sounds huge. I mean, it's just one of the biggest sounding amplifiers out there, especially through this cab. It's just amazing sounding. So you can definitely hear the power difference in that demo, can't you? You know, you're at 100 watts there, and then you're at 50 here, so you got to keep that in mind. But this, the JP is just like, if anybody ever asked me, like, you know, like what just happened, like what's the best metal amp out there? Probably the JP. I mean, that thing just freaking smokes. It just does so much. And that EQ section over there after the amp is more than the EQ section. If you want to know what the best EQ pedal out there, Well, the JP Mark II C Plus comes with it. It's the whole EQ section in there. It just sounds absolutely incredible, you know. And it's some of the best lead tone you'll ever play through as well. It just sings, and it's got this glassy kind of thing to it, and the notes are so sweet. And yeah, I just think it sounds incredible. Yeah, I don't think I've tried the EVH to the diesel yet, but I will. Yeah, we'll probably do that Sunday. Maybe we'll run through some things. It just depends. Like my whatchamacallit, my Splon Nitro should be here hopefully by Sunday. We'll see. We'll have to see. But yeah, I'm hoping that. Let me check my email right now. Scott said he would send me the you know, tracking. Nope. Still in the process of putting on the front panel. So yeah, hopefully I'll get it by then. But let me see here. Catch up to you guys. Sorry, I'm reading comments. Wow, Jason, you live 45 minutes from Mesa. I wonder if they do a factory tour. It'd be cool to dude. You should totally do that. That would be awesome. If I lived that way, I would totally do that, man. If you go, let me know what you think, man. Send me some pics. I want to see that. You know, we need to get you a laser pointer. Yeah, I know. But I'm still trying to figure out how to do the cab switching and then show and letting you know which one I'm on. I'm still trying to work that out. Maybe I'll have a camera right here, and then whatever switch I push, I'll have the label of the amp above it so you can see. Maybe I could do that, and I'll switch to a camera that'll show you that. There's so many options that I'm thinking of right now. I'm just racking my brain, you know. Josie Wales, Mesa JP. Oh yeah, dude, I'm telling you, the JP2C, they spared nothing on that amp. I mean, when you're working, I mean, let's face it, John Petrucci is a world-renowned, world-class, one of the best guitar players that have ever played the instrument. Everything he does is top-notch. And when he went in and made this amplifier with them and you know, came out with it, I mean, he left no stone unturned. That amp does everything, and it does it very well. It's a fantastic amplifier. It really is. I'm never dissatisfied when I play it. Every time I play through it, I'm like, I can't believe I get to play one of these. I mean, it's insane. So if you got one of the greatest guitar players in the world designing an amp with one of the greatest amp manufacturers out there, and it's still a boutique kind of old school thing, you know they're going to come out with something amazing. And this amp still holds its own. Still sounds incredible. Jason, yeah, definitely has some hair down there. It does, doesn't it? Yeah, Jason's loving his JP too. Congrats, dude. You'll love it even more, in my opinion. If you run it through the G12s, I mean, they're just, oh my god, match made in heaven. Forgive the noob question, Paul says. No problem, dude. I'm a noob when it comes to a lot of things too, so you know I totally get it. No worries. Does Jarrod work or represent Motor City Guitars in some way? Okay, so here's the thing. That's a good question, and maybe that I should it gives me a chance to kind of clarify some things here tonight. I don't work for Motor City. I don't work there. And I own my own pressure washing business, and that's what I do. But I've bought a lot of things at that store over the years, and I love that store. And I know the owner, Marty, well enough to tell you guys, like, when you buy from there, you're buying from a very honest, decent person who runs a legit business. And his main concern is giving you the best customer service and the best value for whatever it is that you're buying there. He's a very honest guy. He's an upstanding guy. He has great business principles, and every time you go in there, you're treated fairly, you're treated well, and there's no, you know, shenanigans. I mean, he's just a very Kind of an old school business guy, just like, believes in the handshake, believes in your word should be good. You know what I mean? A man should be good for his word, and what you say, what you do, what you say, and you follow through on things. Like just good old fashioned principles that are good stuff that's been lost over the years. So because I've bought so much stuff there, and because I'm in there a lot, and I know a lot of the staff and enjoy hanging out there, um, it just kind of happened by osmosis. I was like, man, I was asking a lot of friends, like, hey, can I use your amp or your whatever for a show that I have coming up? And they're like, yeah, sure, but you only have so many friends and they only have so much gear that they're willing to lend out. So I actually just approached Marty because it was just one of those things where it was like, there's some cool stuff coming out, and would it be okay if I just demoed it on the show, because you're 10 minutes away from me and I can easily demo this and bring it back the next day or even the same day if need be. Um, and there's a trust there because he he knows me well enough where he can send me home with stuff and know I'm going to bring it back. So that's basically the extent of it. I mean, I don't work there. And but I happily, in a way, I guess, in a loose way, I kind of represent the store because I am bringing gear home like this, and putting their name and their thumbnail and a link to their store in the video. So I do that as a favor to them because it's one of those things where it's like if he's going to let me take a $2,000 amp home and demo it, the least I can do is post a link so if people see it and they want to buy it, they can buy it from him. It's one of those kind of like, he did me a favor, so I'm going to try to do him a favor kind of thing. That's basically it. And when people buy things from the store, um, yeah, I get a couple bucks. You know what I mean? It's nothing that I'm getting rich off of, but it's just one of those things where it's a symbiotic relationship with all three of us. With you guys getting a demo, and without Motor City, the demo would not happen. So I thank God for Motor City, or else I wouldn't have anything to show you guys tonight. So, and you guys can do business at a store that's allowing me to do this, and allowing me to give you guys these demonstrations so that you can make decisions on the gear, and you can buy from a store that's honest, hardworking people that work there. It's a brick and mortar store. It's a good store that gives you great deals. And again, if you buy outside of the state of Michigan, you don't pay any sales tax, and they do ship all over the U.S. And you get a great deal on stuff. So, and yeah, there's a little bit that comes back to support the channel, But am I getting rich off of this? No. If I was, I wouldn't be. I was out washing trucks till 11 o'clock last night in the snow. I wouldn't be doing that if I was getting rich off of that. But I do appreciate the question because it gives me a chance to kind of clarify that stuff, And so, yeah, I mean, if you like what you see here and you like what you're hearing with the amp, and you want to get one, no pressure. Get it wherever you want. But I would definitely steer you towards Motor City because I think they're a great store and you're going to get treated fairly and get a good deal on something. So I hope that helps. And again, thank you for the question. Let's see here. Tyler Reed. The Mark has a unique mid character that just sounds different from any other amp. You're right, it really does. One of the tightest low end responses of any amp. I use it with the shred mode, and it doesn't need a boost. Yeah, that shred mode is nice. Yeah, I mean, it all depends on the kind of music that you're playing and the style of playing. But yeah, I mean that amp is amazing. It really is a good amp. Um, Jim Moore says Motor City has incredible inventory, and their website does not even do the store justice. Oh, you're right, man. They're a fantastic store. You go in there, and I'm not kidding you. Like going in the stock room, like I was in there today. We were looking for stuff, and man, if they don't have it, I'd be surprised. You know what I mean? They have so much inventory and so many good pieces of gear there. It's amazing. It really is like amazing store. So, but yeah, I would highly recommend shopping there. And I know I'm biased because I shop there and I like the people and stuff, but I'm just being honest. Like I would highly recommend it. And, you know, if you want to try something new, you know, if you shopped online and you've been frustrated with places that you shopped at over the last couple of times that you bought stuff, give them a try. I think you'll really be happy that you shopped there. You know, I get a lot of stuff there. And the thing is, too, like keeping brick and mortar stores in business is very important because these are family businesses owned by people with, you know, families and mortgages and things. Um, and that's nice, but as an aside, keeping them in business on a selfish note is good because I don't know how many times I've needed something, like I'm putting something together. I'm like, oh, I need a cable or I need a pedal for this or a, you know, some whatsy whoozy that I don't have right now. And I can run down to the store and pick it up. And I have it right here. It's in my hands. Like, I got it. I don't have to wait 7 days to have it shipped. I don't have to go online and find it. And you don't have to deal with all that. I can go right down to the store and get it. It's so convenient. So having a store like that around is definitely very, very nice to have, you know. So, you know, it's one of those things you don't really think about until you need that one thing right now, and then you're like, thank God they're open. You know. Okay, so let me play a couple riffs on a drop tune guitar. This is half step down, okay? The 7th string. Interesting. Technical difficulties here. I don't know why I'm not getting signal. Might have bumped something on my wireless. Hang on one second. User error. I had my piezo on. My other pickup turned all the way off. That was weird. All right, one second. There we go. That was fun. That was, yeah, it was a Badlander on the crush mode, and I had to turn it down a hair because I felt like the mix was being overpowered. Yeah, some of my mixes are a little louder than others, so. Jason Lewis, good question. How much of what we're hearing is altered, colored by your Helix? Very good question. I would like to think that very little coloring is done. Like, okay, so I have no EQ at all on the mics, on the Helix at all. There's no EQ block in there, and my global EQ is completely flat. I have never touched it. So it's completely flat. There's nothing done to the EQ at all. The only thing that you're hearing the Helix is effects. Like you'll hear some delay, a little bit of chorus, but that is a chorus pedal, the JP Dreamscape chorus pedal, and I have just a little bit of feathered in there, but that's only on certain channels. Like I don't have chorus on the regular crunch right now. I'll show you the difference. All right, so I'll play the regular crunch, and I'll switch to like what I call big crunch. It has a touch of chorus and a little bit of delay on it. That's the only time you'll hear chorus. 1 second. Okay, just a touch of chorus and some delay. Now we're back to dry, no effects at all. Woo, sorry about that. I thought I hit mute. 1 second. My apologies. Every once in a while I touch the touch screen and it doesn't react, so I apologize. But yeah, so it's dry for the most part. I mean, the only effects you're really going to hear is some delay, and every once in a while I have like a phaser on the lead or whatever, but that's about it. So that's a good question, though. Gives me a chance to clarify things for anybody else who's wondering. Scott Fulmer. Yeah, no worries, dude. I caught that. No worries at all, man. Again, very much appreciated the kind words in the super chat. Very much. Thank you. Let's see here. On any of the demos, that is. Yeah, I'm sorry. Are you asking for all of them? Yeah, I mean, there's very little coloring, you know. I heard a little Doctor Who in there. Oh, and that last song, yeah, it's some pretty interesting kind of Middle Eastern, I don't know, kind of Egyptian kind of riffs in there. I kind of like them. You know, they're kind of fun to do. Um, okay, so I'll wrap up in a few minutes here. It's been fun. Had a lot of fun with you guys tonight. And again, I'm really, yeah, it's kind of cool. I like the questions because it does give me a chance to clear things up and answer questions that might be on other people's minds, and they either don't want to ask or or whatever. I mean, that's what this is about, the live streams and stuff. Like, I want to get to know you guys better, and I want you guys to get to know me better, and Carrie as well. Like, we're it's just a hangout. Like, literally, like, it's a virtual hangout. If we were all just hanging out, having beers and talking guitar, it's the same thing. Like, it's, unfortunately, we can't all be in the same room because of, you know, logistics and whatnot, but at least here we can come close to that, and that's what it is. Like, going live, it gives me a chance to demo things, Gives me a chance to answer your questions right now and demonstrate those answers, turn the knobs, kick the tires, do all that stuff, and for us to get a chance to get to know each other and hang out. I'm playing live, which is one of the things I love to do. It keeps me sharp. It keeps me challenged because I got to stay sharp so I can play live and not make a fool out of myself, and keep my chops up. And it encourages me to keep writing. So I got new songs and mixes and stuff like that for you guys, and it's something I really enjoy doing. So it gives me purpose, and I appreciate that very much. So, um, yeah, I really hope you guys had a good time tonight. And again, I was glad to revisit this amplifier because I think it deserved a second look because of a lot of the comments that were out there. And I wasn't doing this to stick up for the amplifier. I wanted to find out for myself. I really did. Like when I went in the store today, I was looking around, I saw this, and I'm like, hey, can I take that? And they're like, you already took that home. I'm like, you know what? I said, I want to take it home again because I want to see if all that, and again, a lot of people love it, but there's also people that are kind of like, I don't know, man, it's too this and not enough that or whatever. And uh, I like the amp. I think it sounds great. I think some of it might have to do with the diesel cab, or the speakers that are in it. Not to say that it didn't sound good through other cabs, but it sounds better to me tonight for some reason. And maybe some of you guys thought, a lot of you guys actually said the same thing. And that's what this is about. So what did we learn tonight? Well, we learned that the G12 speakers are freaking sick. They sound great. And if you're wanting to spice up your amp a little bit and get something that gives it a little different kind of color, I would say get the G12s. They're killer. You can't go wrong. And sometimes it's good to revisit an amplifier. There's people that have reviewed it and went to stores and tried it out in a store, and I respect these guys' opinions, and it's perfectly fine for them to share their opinions. But I will say this, like, no matter how nice the store is, it's not your room. It's not your wall reflections that you're familiar with. It's not your surroundings that you're familiar with. So the best way to test out an amp is if you like it at the store and it's at least worth trying out, take it home and test it out. Like, this is my room. I test stuff at people's houses and at stores all the time, but I always keep it in the back of my mind. No matter what I'm experiencing here, good or bad, the real test is when I take it home. So if I plug it in this room through my cabs, my mics, and whether it's in the room or in my in-ears or whatever, or all of it, which is usually how I do it, if it doesn't sound good after that, then it doesn't work for me. But so far, every single amp on this wall behind me, and some of the ones that I haven't bought because I only have so much money, obviously, have passed the test. And that Splon Nitro that's on its way, it already passed the test with me. I can't wait to get it and bring it into the family and put it on the shelf with everything else and give it a home here. I think it's going to be amazing. So, but yeah, I mean, just keep that in mind. Again, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to review this again and revisit it, is because I wanted to find out again for myself, like if what I think of it for real after hearing all the different thoughts on it about it out there. And I think that if you like the way this amp sounds, if you want a little more refined sound, and MIDI's not a big deal for you, and again, it does have enough gain. You just got to turn it up past what you're comfortable with, but that's okay. Who cares? We dial in amps with our ears, not our eyes. So who cares what your eyes are saying? Your ears are the ones that got to hear it, and your hands are the ones that got to play it. So ears and hands always will, take precedent over your eyes. So, but if you like all that stuff, I mean, then get it. If you want something that, is a little bigger sounded, but it's in the Mesa family, get the JP. I'm telling you, the Mark II C Plus is stupid. It's a stupid, awesome amp. And I mean stupid as a good thing. It's amazing. If you like the classic tone, go after a dual rec. So I mean, it just depends on what you like. It really does. Yeah, Steve Venchek, we buy all these amps, pickups, strings, and overlook the speakers. No, you're right, dude. I mean, speakers are so important. They really are. I mean, I'm learning that more and more as I go. Like, I can't believe the difference that these speakers have made. I mean, amazing difference. Do I not like vintage 30s anymore? No, I still love the vintage 30s, but there's amps. Like I said, my Ingle Savage, in my opinion, sounds better in the vintage 30s. It just does. Does it sound like crap in the G12s? No, it sounds great, but I just prefer it in the vintage 30s. So like all these amps will just be different, based on whatever speaker or cabinet you place with your amps. Just pick the one that sounds best with that amp and go with it. Jason Lewis says, thanks, dude. I knew there was no post-production or anything like that. I started watching your demos based on the fact that it's raw and not processed to the point where everything sounds identical. Thank you. No, and you're welcome. And I honestly, I don't mind questions like that. I don't get sensitive about that at all because, again, it gives me a chance to share some insight with you guys and to be transparent with you. I got nothing to hide here. Like, everything is as it should be. Like, the last thing I ever want to do is become that shill channel where I sit here and doctor everything up and make it sound amazing and like you buy it and you're like, why doesn't this sound as good as it did on his show? And then people message and I'm like, well, it must be you, it must be your pickups, must be you're not very good. And there's channels that are like that, and there's people that are like that, and it's really sad. Like, I want you to come here for the reality of like what it is, like the truth. Like, does this amp sound good? And I'm not one of those guys that's going to bring an amp home and go, yeah, this thing sounds like crap. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll just fix it with EQ and compression and blah, 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 and everybody will think it sounds amazing. I don't want to do that. That's a short-lived YouTube career, because once the word gets out that you're just one of those hacks that just, tricks people into buying stuff, then no one's going to watch you anymore. And I don't want that. I want to be here for a long time. I want this to be a place where people can come for the truth and for honesty. And because, again, Randall Smith doesn't know who I am. The guys that make Ingle and Diesel, I'm not at their Christmas parties going, clicking glasses going, yeah, man, great year, huh? We sold a ton of amps and I made a ton of commission. To see that Maserati out there? Yeah, that's mine. That's because of you guys. Thanks. It's not like that at all. And I own my own company. I own my own pressure washing business. I work hard. And when I spend my money on things, I worked hard for that money. I'm out there beating the crap out of myself. I'm 51 years old. I'm out there washing trucks in huge apartment complexes and buildings and houses and cement and all this kind of stuff. I work my butt off. When I get home, I'm tired and dirty, and I spend my hard-earned money on things just like you do. And I hate it when I get ripped off. I hate it when I buy something that sucks. And it's better on YouTube than it is in real life. And I'm sitting there scratching my head, go, why does this sound like crap? Why does it feel like crap? Why is this a piece of junk or whatever? This guy said it was amazing and it's not, and I wasted my money on this, I don't want to be that person, I work just as hard as anybody else does out there, if not harder. And I'm serious. Like, when I get home, I'm freaking beat on some nights, So, So I want to be a source where you guys can come and have a good place to come and trust somebody when it comes to your hard-earned money and spending it on something. I really do. Now, with that, I have to say this. There's always, everybody has different tastes, so you have to keep that in mind, everything's subjective, so if I say, yeah, this will have enough gain for you, and then you get it and you're like, no, it doesn't. I don't want to be that guy. I'm going to tell you, the gain right now on crush mode is at just over 3 o'clock. And it has enough gain for me, and I'm a gainiac. I love gain. I think it's amazing. So I would like to think that if it has enough gain for me, it probably has enough gain for most people at that setting. It probably does, Is it as gnarly as the JP? I mean, the JP... It's 100 watts, so it's a bigger amp, and I think it's got a completely different kind of thing going on there. I would prefer the JP over it, but again, that's just my taste. Do I still think this is awesome? Yeah, I think the amp has done a good job tonight, It definitely sounds better and feels better to me than it did last time. And I'm so glad that I did a review of it again and revisited it. You know, it was worth it. It really was. And I hope it was worth it for you guys as well. Um, let's see here. Adrian, what's going on, man? Uh, let's see here. He says heavier, more modern than the 5153. Um, that's a good question. I think the 5153, at least I have a stealth. That's what I have. And the stealth is going to have more gain. It's going to be more aggressive and have more gain. So if you're looking for something that has more aggression and more gain, I would suggest going with stealth. I think that's going to be a better way for you to go. If you're really looking for that super aggressive, grainy, kind of awesome texture, you know, the stealth will have that, and it has MIDI. So that's a nice thing too. The 50-watt amp does. So that's a good thing. But if you like the build quality and the American-made kind of version that the Mesa has to offer, and you like the gain structure and the tone of it, then go with that. It really depends on what you like. I like both amps a lot. I'll tell you what, the Stealth 5150, the Stealth right here, every time I play it, I have a great time. That amp never disappoints. It's so freaking good. I mean, it's like hold on for dear life because you're going for the ride of your life right now. I mean, that amp will just throw down, man. That thing is sick. Steve Venchek, there's a reason why we all keep coming back because you have a great channel. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that very much. I wouldn't have a channel if it wasn't for you guys, so I appreciate every one of you. Jason Taylor, right on. That's Jarrod. That's why we love your show and come back a couple times a week. You and Carrie are good people. You tell it like it is. That which I appreciate, and I'm sure everyone else does too. Thank you so much. And again, it wasn't for guys like you and everybody else here, we wouldn't have a channel. So we appreciate it very much. You know, we just want everybody to have a place to come, to have an honest gear review. And because again, I would hate for you to spend money on something that you hate. That's not the goal here. My goal is to demonstrate things, answer questions, turn the knobs, kick the tires, put it in mixes, play it by itself, give you my opinion of it for whatever that's worth, and give you an honest answer about stuff. And for you to be able to go out and buy it and at least be about 80% sure that, like, I'm probably going to like this. And that's the way it is. Like, I can't guarantee everybody's going to like everything because there's that 20% that's left up to subjectivity. You know, where you're going to buy it and go, I can see why he likes it, but it's not working for me. But at least at that point, they can't say, I twisted their arm and told them to get something that they don't like. Because, everything I'm saying, hopefully, is ringing true with everyone, regardless of whether or not they like the amp as much as me or the other way around. Christopher, hey, what's up, man? Thanks, Donna Summer. Oh, man, it's funny. He says, awesome as always. You're the devil on my shoulder every time I'm looking at new amps. Good to hear from you, man. I'm happy to be the devil on your shoulder. Steve Shaheen, what's up, buddy? He says, just got here. You got the Badlander again. Yeah, I got the 50-watt version this time. And I wanted to revisit it because last time I just didn't have enough time with it. So I like it better this time. And I think it's probably because of the diesel cab, too. I think the combination and the fact that I don't know, it's jiving with me tonight. It sounds pretty freaking good, Agenda says, I've recently discovered your channel. I like it. First video I saw, you had a block letter 5150 against the Stealth. Oh, yeah, that was, yeah, I remember that one. I got a block letter from week 1 of production in a glass chassis. Oh, cool. Good for you, man. And thanks for being here. I appreciate the comment. Thank you so much. Jim Lund, Jarrod, you have some good KEMPER profile resources you could share. Oh, yeah, thanks for asking. It's actually in the description. My website's right there, and I actually make KEMPER profiles. I actually have KEMPER profiles of the 100-watt version of the Badlander, if you're interested. They're on my website. And just click the link with tonewars.com, and it'll take you right to my website. Just go to where it says KEMPER Profiles, and there's a bunch there. Um, I have the Savage. I have a bunch. I would highly recommend the EVH, the Savage, the Badlanders are my number one sellers. And what else do I have up there? I'm trying to remember. Those are the three of my favorites, anyways. And I have a sample pack on there for $5. If you want to just try out some samples, for $5, you have a sample pack of every single one of my amps except for the Diesel is on there because I didn't have that at the time. Thanks for all the fun times. Thank you. Yeah, and it wouldn't be fun without you guys, so I appreciate it very much. And thanks for the kind words, Jason, and steering them towards the website. Yeah, it helps me, helps the channel. But the thing is like when I make these profiles, great care goes into them. I'm down here for hours, like making these profiles and making sure that they sound exactly how the amp does and everything. And I take great care in making sure that happens. So, so yeah, the EVH ones came out great. I just updated the pack, and yeah, those turned out good. So I think you'd like those. The Savage or the Badlander. Badlanders selling like crazy. Every day I saw a couple Badlander profile packs almost. It's nuts. It's up and down, but there's a lot of them that people that buy them and they're real happy with them. So anyway, okay, so let's see here. Vagenda says, who were your favorite guitarists when you started playing? Good question, and thank you for the question. So when I started playing, I really liked Rush, and I thought Alex Lifeson was like awesome, and I still do. He was great, and then I discovered Eddie Van Halen, and so I got my writing style from Alex Van Halen, from Alex Lifeson, because he has all these intricate changes and time signatures and stuff, and I really like that. So a lot of my songs have a lot of changes in them, but I like the flair that Eddie Van Halen had, like the crazy stuff that he was doing. So I really like that. So I incorporated that into my playing. And then I discovered Night Ranger, Brad Gillis, Mr. Whammy Bar. I started really getting into using the whammy bar more and really working that and using it in a musical way like he did. And then Steve Vai. And then, of course, when Dream Theater came out, I discovered John Petrucci, who, in my opinion, is the king of all guitar players. And so I've really tried to incorporate a lot of his, phrasing and stylistic things and concepts into my playing. I can't play like him, obviously, like he's 1,000 times better than me, but at least I try to emulate like his phrasing and some of the concepts that he uses. I really like a lot of stuff he does. The guy is so tasteful, but he's so creative about how he plays so tastefully and so musical. It's crazy. Like he's just a fantastic player. There's never a solo that he's done that I didn't like. They're all amazing. And if you ever see Dream Theater live, every time the guitar solo, every time it's time for the guitar solo, the whole room is like at a hush. No, everyone's like laser beams on John. Like no one focuses on anything else. Even if you have to go to the bathroom really bad, you'd rather piss your pants than miss the guitar solo. So you'll stay there and watch, and as soon as he's done, the whole place goes nuts after every solo. So it's crazy. It's like the guy deserves it, though. He's so good. So, yeah, so that's pretty much it. Some absolute legends. No, you're right. I mean, and there's other guys, too, but I mean, that's like the main ones that I kind of gravitate towards. I've stolen stuff from a lot of other people, but those are my main resources. You know what I mean? Staples. You know. See here. Just trying to catch up to you guys. Sorry. Steve Venchek says the EVH and the MT15 sounds incredible through the the G12 K100s. You have to try it. No, you're right. They really do. They sound awesome. Well, it's a little after 10. You know what? I'm feeling saucy. how about I play one more mix before we say goodnight? Let's see here. Let me mute the room mic. And I will go ahead and play a mix. Bam! There you go, guys. The Mesa Boogie Badlander 50 watt. Yep. Definitely worth a second look for me. I'm so glad I did this. And the G12 K100s are freaking amazing speakers. Never thought I'd see the day I'd like something as much or better than the vintage 30s, but holy crap, has it arrived, you know? That's awesome. Let's see here. Aggressive but great note separation. Adrian says, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's got a lot of great sculpted tone to it, you know? Nothing extra. It's just got just enough of what you need, and it sounds great in the mix, you know? So, yep. Let's see here. Christopher, oh, thanks, man. Thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it very much. Seriously, it really means a lot. It means a lot to have all you guys here and to support the channel. Very much appreciate it. So chromatic, it made the sorry, I'm like I don't have my glasses. It made the neck into chrome, literal chrome. That's funny. Was at that point surfing with the alien. Well, it sounds to me. Yeah, that's a kind of it's cool because it's a chromatic kind of solo, and I did that on purpose when I wrote this because I wanted to do something that sounded a little odd, but I wanted to make it interesting. And that was one of the things that I really loved about Brad Gillis is like you could take like the solo for Sister Christian. I mean the music underneath what he was playing was so like just basic. There wasn't a lot for him to bounce off of. So that solo relied that whole piece of music there relied 100% on Brad Gillis to write something interesting. Otherwise, it would have fell apart. And it really showed his writing skills and his playing skills very well because it gave him a chance to take something that would have been otherwise very boring and just horrible to listen to, and he just took it and made it magnificent. And I do that on purpose with my songs to keep me in check. A lot of times I'll just take boring rhythms and stuff that just doesn't sound all that good, and I'll force myself to write something creative over it that sounds good. And I feel like if I can accomplish that, then that's a good thing for me. It's a good challenge. Because some rhythms, you guys know, just lend themselves to like, man, as long as you stay in key, whatever you play over this is going to be insane. Like it's going to make you look like a guitar god. And that's cool too. Like I have stuff like that as well. That is just it lends itself to a great melody or something. And there's so many things you could do with it, but there's other stuff out there that's just difficult to write over, and it really does challenge you to write something that's worth listening to over it, and it really shows off your writing skills because I'm more of a writer than I am a player. I try to take a lot of pride in what I write, and I want it to sound good because at the end of the day, you could be a virtuoso that plays a bunch of, crap that is technically amazing, but if it doesn't grab somebody and in some way, they're just going to be like, I've heard enough. I don't want to hear any more of that. You got to emote something. You got to grab people. You got to make them pay attention to you for all the right reasons. Put your ego aside, and sometimes it's just good to just go, I just need to write something melodic here that just is so catchy and so amazing and emotive that people have to pay attention to this. And it's nice when you strike a chord with people. It really is. And there's many times where I've been to concerts and you look at the front row of dudes watching like guys like Petrucci play and they're just freaking bawling their eyes out because the guy just has a way of just reaching into your soul and yanking it out and showing it to you, and it's just amazing when you can do that. So to me, that's what I try to go after. But that's just me. you know. Anyways, oh Gunnerman, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that very much. Thank you so much. Jason Lewis says Badlander sounds amazing. Got a jet. Great show as always. You're an inspiration. Take care and God bless, dude. Thanks, dude. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you very much. Vagenda says technique is knowing how to speak. Writing is having something worth saying. That's good. I'm going to use that. I like that. I'm going to screenshot that right now. Very well said. I like that a lot. El Acoustic got a jet. All right, me too. All right, well, guys, thank you very much for joining me tonight. Went a little longer than usual, but I do that because I'm having a great time, and I hope you guys did too. I know there's all kinds of other places you could be tonight, a lot of other channels or shows or whatever you could be watching, and I'm honored and privileged to have you here, and it means the world to me that you guys hung out with me tonight. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. And again, if you want to support the channel and support Motor City Guitar and you need gear anyways and you're looking for a good place to buy it, click the link, go to Motor City and shop around and see if there's anything there that you like, and feel free to give them a call or just purchase whatever you want to do. No pressure. It's just one of those things. If you want to buy something, I think they're a great store. So I think you'd have a good experience with them. So again, all right, so every day's a gift, and thank you so much for spending part of yours with me. I really appreciate that. And Carrie and I will be live Sunday night at 7, and we look forward to seeing you guys there. All right? God bless you guys. Take care, and thank you again so much for everything. I appreciate it. We will